Hey everyone, and welcome to the SAP Tech YouTube channel. So let's set the scene. It's a critical moment, maybe month-end close, and bam, your SAP HANA system just stops, total gridlock. Today, we are going to tackle one of the most heart-stopping situations for any SAP admin, a completely full log volume. But don't worry, we're not just going to talk about the problem, we're going to show you exactly how to fix it.
In this explainer, we are breaking down the step-by-step process to resolve what can feel like a catastrophic failure when your SAP HANA data, or, more commonly, your log volume is completely full. We're going to give you a clear, calm guide to get your system back online and fast.
So, is your system screaming at you? Are you staring at a log volume that's pegged at 100% and it just will not budge? Before you start pulling your hair out, just take a breath. We have a solid, structured solution that's going to get you out of this jam. Okay, you ready? Let's dive in. All right, here's our game plan. First, we'll cover space reclamation. That's going to be your first line of defense. Then, we'll jump into the crisis scenario. What do you do when the normal commands fail? From there, I'll walk you through an emergency procedure called the soft link method. And of course, we'll show you how to clean up and get everything back to normal. And then we'll wrap it all up with the key things you absolutely need to remember.
Okay, let's start with the basics. When you're running low on space in HANA, your first move should always be trying to reclaim it. Think of this as your standard operating procedure.
So here's something you gotta understand about HANA. When you delete data or when logs get backed up, the system doesn't always give that space back to the operating system right away. It's kind of like a library that's taken books off the shelves but hasn't updated its records to show the new empty space. The reclaim command is you telling the librarian, hey, go update your records and officially free up that shelf space.
And these are the two magic wands you'll be using. On the left, you see the one for the data volume. That 120% you see there is a pretty standard parameter that also tells HANA to do a little defragmentation, which is nice for performance. But for today's emergency, we're focused on the right, the log volume reclaim. It's beautifully simple. Alter system reclaim log. This is always your first step.
But what if it doesn't work? What if you run that reclaim command and absolutely nothing happens? The log volume is still blinking at you, stuck at 100%. Well, this is where things get serious, and you need a new plan.
And this is exactly why it's so critical. When that log folder is full, your HANA database can literally just freeze solid. It stops all operations, no transactions, no queries, nothing. Your business is effectively down.
So, the standard tool in your toolbox just failed. The system is dead in the water. What now? This is the moment we switch from standard procedure to, let's call it, emergency intervention.
All right, let's get to the solution. We're going to use a technique I call the soft link method. It's a manual process for sure, but it's a lifesaver. We're basically going to create just enough breathing room for the database to start up so it can then clean up after itself.
Here's the mission briefing in 5 steps. We're going to stop the database, do a little file system shuffling by moving just one log file, create a special link, and then we restart and reclaim. Sounds like a lot, but I'll walk you through each step. It's totally manageable. Now, listen up, because this is the most important step of all. Stop the HANA database. Seriously, I cannot say this enough. If you try to move log files around while the database is running, you are asking for major data corruption. Don't do it. Use the SAP control command you see on the screen to shut it down safely first.
Okay, next step, we need to find just a little bit of free space somewhere else on the server. Your data volume is often a good candidate. So you'll create a temporary folder there, and then, here's the key, you move just one of the log files into that new spot. All we're trying to do here is create a tiny sliver of empty space in the log directory, so the database has room to breathe when it starts up.
And now for the really clever part. We're going to create something called a soft link, or a symbolic link. You can think of it like leaving a mail forwarding address. We're telling the operating system, hey, you know that log file you were expecting to find right here? Well, it's not here anymore, but if you follow this link, you'll find it over in this temporary directory. It's a neat little trick that fools the system into thinking everything is exactly where it's supposed to be.
With our little trick in place, it's time for the moment of truth. Go ahead and restart the HANA database. That little bit of free space we created should be just enough to let it start up without complaining. And as soon as it's online, you immediately run that alter system reclaim log command again. This time it should work. It'll trigger the log backups, which will then start clearing out all the old log segments, and you'll see your space usage drop dramatically.
Okay, crisis averted. The system is back up. But our job isn't quite done.
That soft link was an emergency fix, a temporary patch. Now we need to go back and clean up our work to make sure the system is stable and healthy for the long run.
So the cleanup is pretty much the reverse of everything we just did. You're going to stop the database again, I know, but it's important. Then you remove that soft link we created. After that, move the log file back to its original home in the log directory. Then you can safely get rid of that temporary folder we made. Finally, restart the database one last time. Now everything is back to a clean, standard, and stable state.
Whew! We have covered a lot of pretty critical ground here. But now you have a very powerful procedure in your back pocket for dealing with a full HANA log volume. Let's just quickly recap the absolute key takeaways.
Okay, 4 simple rules. 1. Reclaim first. It's the simplest and safest option. 2. Stop the database. I'm going to say it one more time. Never ever move these files around while the system is running. 3. The soft link method is your emergency eject button. Only use it when all else fails. And 4. Always clean up after yourself. Put things back the way you found them to keep your system healthy.
Now, for all the commands we talked about today, so you can just copy and paste them, and for some more detailed notes, please check out the description of this explainer. We've laid it all out for you down there, so you'll have it ready when you need it most.
And there you have it. You are now fully equipped to handle a full log volume in SAP HANA like a seasoned pro. If you found this useful, do me a huge favor and hit that like button. And for more practical, real-world guides for all things SAP, make sure you subscribe to the SAP Tech